Hey everybody, today I have a very important success mindset. This is a key concept to help you have your mind straight and correct to be successful. The last thing we want to do is have our own mind, our own thinking, our own perspective each day hindering us from being successful and accomplishing what we want. So, key concept for today is locus of control. Now, if you're like me, the first time you hear that phrase, you're kind of thinking, what's a locus? I was in the same boat. And truly, I'm not sure what a locus is. But this concept, locus of control, is a psychological concept that refers to where you see control of events happening. Where does control located at? And so some people see that the control for what happens to them and what happens in their day resides inside of them. So they feel like they have control, they dictate what happens. Other people feel like control is outside of them. They feel like things happen to them, that things are determined by external circumstances, and sometimes they'll sound like more like a victim because things are happening to them. So the truth of the matter is that really it is your decision where you determine the center of control or locus of control is. And successful people by far have an internal locus of control, which means they take responsibility for what happens to them. They take responsibility for the results of their day-to-day activities. People who struggle with success tend to have an external locus of control. They tend to think that their success is based on what other people do, what the market does, what happens with their students or their business partners or their children. It's always because of something outside of their control. So this can really relate to any area of our life. And in all of these areas, we need to decide to make sure we have an internal locus of control. So some areas that you can think through and kind of reflect on, where is your locus of control? Are you taking control of all of these areas? So related to real estate, getting deals. A lot of people are struggling right now to get deals. So think about the wording you use related to deals. If you are using wording like it's a tough market, deals are hard to find. I know, I've used some of those phrases. Those are an external locus of control. So we need to revamp or rephrase those things so that we can take control of it. So in this market related to deals, say, I need to put in more work to get deals. I need to put in the extra effort to get deals. I need to network to get deals. People are getting deals in this market, and we need to make sure that we're the ones taking control. Whether we are getting deals or we're not, it's up to us. Another one is dealing with tenants. If you've been to a RIA meeting with landlords who have been in real estate a while, I'm sure you have heard where the tenant did this and the tenant did that, and this tenant mistreated me this way, and this tenant mistreated the property this way. That's a natural tendency. I've done the same. But in my experience, tenants tend to do and meet expectations of the manager. So if I am having bad issues with tenants, just like I talked about 2 episodes back, then really I need to take responsibility for that. And so it is due to me if I am having tenant problems. It's because I don't have proper systems, or I'm not training my tenants how to be involved in those systems, or I have the wrong tenants. But all 3 of those things are my responsibility. So it is up to me whether I have tenant headaches or I don't, whether I have management problems or I don't. that is completely within my responsibilities. Another one is relationships. This is on a more personal level, but think about the wording that we use related to our significant others, spouses, our friends, our children. If we're struggling with something, extended family, if we're struggling with that relationship, do we tend to, with the words that we use, express that as in they're doing something wrong? The kids aren't focusing, they're struggling with distance learning or not going to school or the stress of COVID, whatever that might be. The more we talk about it as if it's out of our control, then the more we're going to struggle with it and be less successful. So if we want strong relationships with any of those categories, then we need to talk about it in terms of what we control. So instead of our kids are struggling with stress, I'm going to do ABC to reduce stress for my kids. I'm going to do ABC to give them a structured school environment while they're at home. I'm going to do this to have a better relationship with my spouse or to better interact with extended family. So, and all of these things I am sharing because I find myself at times struggling, and I catch my words where I say this is going on and I sound like a victim, and that drives me crazy because I never want to feel like a victim, and I'm going to do everything in my power to take responsibility for it. And the fourth example I have is one that I truly struggle with. So I can be very hard charging and independent and take responsibility for any area in my life. But my health is one that I find my wording going into that external locus of control more often than any other area. So for me personally, I find I've always struggled with health, struggled with weight, and I know at times I can hear those words coming out of my mouth that, well, I've always been overweight. Maybe it's in my genes. I've always struggled with this, and I've tried different things. Maybe it's not up to my actions. You know, I've heard all kinds of crazy statements come out of my own mouth. And this is almost sounding like a confession. But the reality is, I need to take control of it. And I need to say, my health is due to my actions. If I want better health, I need to make better decisions and take better actions. Now, maybe you're listening to this right now and you're thinking, yeah, he should do that. And I would encourage you that it is always easier to hear when somebody else is speaking where their locus of control is. It's always easier to hear when they're speaking, you say, oh, they're sounding like a victim or they're taking responsibility. And in general, we have a hard time recognizing it in ourselves. So I'd encourage you in the next hours, days, next week, think about what words you use. Think about it, the words that you use, when are they demonstrating that you're taking responsibility for your situation? Or are they demonstrating that you're giving somebody else or something else control over your situation? And I'd encourage you, if you hear, if you hear yourself using words that give control to something else, whether it's the market, sellers, employees, family members, children, if you hear yourself do that, restate it. Change the wording so that it gives you control. Because I guarantee you, you will feel better when you reword it. You'll feel more in control, and it will put you on a path to success. As long as you give something outside of you control of your situation, you can't change it. But the moment you take responsibility for it, you can change it and you can make your situation, your day, your week, your year what you want. So I hope that's a word of encouragement. If you have any experience with this or any insights, reach out to me. I'd love to hear it. Thanks.